Hi guys! Today I have something really delicious for all you coffee lovers out there. This is something that is to go with coffee, but it also tastes like coffee. So let's get started and make my delicious mocha coffee cake. You will need a medium bowl, and the first thing is we are going to add in the eggs. And then we are going to add in the brown sugar on top. I'm using brown sugar because it adds a lovely flavor. Then I have my instant coffee here and we just want to dissolve it. So I'm gonna start by adding just 1 teaspoon of hot water to the coffee. And I can see that I will need another one. So just gonna add in the second teaspoon and then allow the coffee, so instant coffee, to dissolve. And then once the instant coffee has dissolved, you want to also add all of it in, and also add in a little bit of vanilla, so about 1 teaspoon. And then you want to beat all of this until it's nice and soft and pale. This should take about 5 to 10 minutes. Then in about 10 minutes, this is how your eggs and sugar and coffee should look like. It's not gonna be white because obviously the dark brown sugar and the coffee, but it should have doubled, become really fluffy and airy. Then we are going to add in the melted butter, melted and cooled butter, and you want to keep the mixer on low while you add it in. And we're just going to shortly beat it in. Then you want to remove the whisks. Then I have the all-purpose flour here, and I'm gonna add in the baking powder to it along with the baking soda, and I'm just gonna shortly mix that in. And then we have the wet ingredients here, and I'm just gonna start adding in the flour or the dry ingredients. We want to add these in 3 batches. Sieve it in, and then you just want to fold it in like this. And then you want to add in another third of the flour. And again, sieve that in. And you want to mix just until almost combined, and then add in the rest of the flour so you don't mix too long or too much. And then we're folding in the last bit. And now you can also add in the sour cream, and then you just want to do a final fold. So now we want to mix in until everything is well combined. You just want to mix your batter until it's nice and smooth like this, and then you can transfer it into the baking tin. I layered my cake tin with some parchment paper. It's not really necessary, but because mine has a loose bottom, I like to do that. And then because I'm using the parchment paper, I don't need to butter my baking tin. So if you're not using parchment paper, then you just want to butter your baking tin before you transfer the batter to it. And then once your batter is in the cake tin, you just want to even it out so that it's even around the whole cake tin. And then we are gonna pop this in the oven, and as always you can find the link to the recipe down below in the description box. Then once your cake has baked, you want to remove it from the oven, place it on a cooling rack and allow it to cool like this in the cake tin for about 10 minutes. And then you want to remove it from the cake tin into the cooling rack. So then while the cake is still warm, it's really soft, and yeah, getting carried away. So while it's still really warm, so it's been 10 minutes, I've removed it from the cake tin and removed the baking paper, and then you just want to poke a lot of holes in the cake so that it will soak up the glaze that we're gonna pour over in a minute. So for the glaze, I have the instant coffee here again. So we use some for the batter and we are also gonna use some for the glaze. Just gonna add in about 2 teaspoons of hot water just to dissolve the instant coffee, and you just want to mix until it's completely dissolved. Then I have my powdered sugar here, and it's really soft, so if you notice that yours needs sifting, then just sift it first, and then we are going to add the coffee on top. And you just want to start mixing in the coffee with the powdered sugar. And if you notice, like here, I can see right away it's gonna be really thick and I need it a little bit runnier. So I'm gonna add a little bit more of that hot water and continue mixing. So because we are going to soak the cake in this glaze, we are not going to make like a really thick glaze which is gonna stay on top of the cake. We really want this more runny. So adding a little bit more. And that should do it. So just add enough water to kind of get this runny consistency, and then just mix well until everything is combined and all the sugar is melted. And then we are back at our cake, and you want to brush the cake with the glaze with a brush. So just take a brush and brush the warm cake with the glaze, and you can allow the glaze to kind of soak in first and then add another layer on top. Now I can see I should have sifted my powdered sugar. So sift your powdered sugar, because otherwise you will have this kind of pieces over your cake. So now I've soaked the complete cake with the glaze. Now you just want to leave it aside to cool completely and for the glaze to dry before you decorate it. And then once your cake has completely cooled, you want to dust it with the powdered sugar. And then you want to cut the cake squares and decorate them with some chocolate mocha beans, or I don't know how they're called, but these chocolate coffee beans. This is a really quick and easy to make cake, and I absolutely love the coffee flavor in it. I must admit, it took me a little while for putting this recipe together, because the first try it was really delicious, but it didn't taste enough of the coffee. So I really wanted that strong coffee flavor into this coffee cake, because, well, it's a mocha cake, so it has to taste like coffee, right? So now it's perfect. I really like it, and I think you can still adjust it. So if you don't really want that overpowering coffee flavor, I cannot really say that it's like boom kind of coffee flavor, but you can really taste it. But if you want to adjust that, then you can adjust it for the icing that you glaze the cake with. Also, something that I want to mention is when you're adding this decoration bit, so the chocolate beans on top of the cake, then make sure your glaze is still runny so that they actually attach, because I didn't think about that. I added them at the very end, and well, they didn't attach to my cake, so they were just kind of fake decorations over there just for the photos. So make sure the glaze is still runny or sticky when you attach those. If you like coffee flavor, I'm sure you're gonna love this cake. It's really flavorful, it's super spongy and soft, and it basically melts in your mouth. It's really yummy, and it's perfect for a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. If you enjoyed this recipe, don't forget that thumbs up for support. And if you're new to my channel, then you can subscribe right now, and if you tap that bell, you won't miss any of my new recipes. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye until next time.